Welcome back to the vlog. There's been a couple viewers wanting to know how I lose and that I don't show enough losing hands. Well, today you're going to get your fill of losing hands. Have you ever wondered how I play when I'm on full-blown tilt? This is it. Don't ask me how I got there so quick. I just got there in a hurry and I played horrendous. I mean, there's playing bad, there's running bad, and then there's what I did. So, yeah. Ooh. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be different from the other vlogs. And sit back, relax, enjoy. And it's okay to laugh at me. Here it comes. All right, we're back at Capital Casino, buy into the 1-3 game for $500. It's been a couple rounds. We're playing short-handed at the present time with 5 players. The other 3 players are lobbying. I'm in a small blind with 2 8s. The cutoff raises to 10. A solid regular on the button makes it 30. Short-handed, I considered 8s a raise or fold in this kind of situation. Most likely a fold. But for some reason I decided it's time to play a pot, so I decided on a raise to 90. I think my raise size is way too small here. Being out of position against a player with a strong range, I should either make this like 130 or fold. He only has to call 60 more to win a $190 pot. He's getting excellent odds, and I'm sure he's aware of that. And of course he comes along. Since he doesn't re-raise, I'm taking big pairs out of his range since we're short-handed, most likely holding his ace-king, ace-queen possibly. So we go heads up to a flop with 193 in, and the flop comes king 3-7 with 2 diamonds. I decided to place a continuation bet of $50. This does hit my perceived range of ace-king or big pocket pairs like aces or kings. So a bet here is not too bad. I chose 1/4 size pot, and if I get played back at, I think it's indicative that he has a hand like ace-king and it could be easily folded. So with 243 in the pot now, it doesn't take him long to assemble a raise to 150. Obviously this means he has something. It could be a ace-king hand. I don't think he has a set of 7s. It is possible that he's fooling around with, say, like ace-queen of diamonds. So here I came up with a crazy idea. Since I can't call him and I hate to fold, I decided, well, let's use my nut advantage and see if I can get him off a hand like ace-king. I mean, playing the hand this way looks amazingly strong. It's either that or a total act of desperation. So after thinking for a while and coming up with a horrible plan, I decided it would be time to pull the trigger.
Don't do it. He's not folding. He has ace-king. No, don't. Oh.
So this is me punting off $500 to my friendly neighborhood vlog watcher. I'm sure he is very appreciative of all the cash I just sent him. He definitely is going to call with his ace-king and take this one down.
There's no way a solid player is ever going to fold the top of his range for that bet. What are you doing? Are you off your meds or something?
If I wasn't playing bad enough before, now my nose is wide open. I'm on full-blown tilt. I defend from the big blind with 9-10 offsuit from a button raise. He is a very active player. And when the flop comes Jack 8-6, I decide to put the rest of his chips in and force out the other player. He has about $80 left. And I was hoping he had something other than top pair, but of course anything bigger than a 10 right now has me crushed. Turn card is a 6 of hearts, and the river card is another blank, a 5, and he turns over Jack 10 offsuit, and he takes this one down. I'm in the small blind with ace 4 offsuit. It's straddled to 9. Get one caller from the cutoff. I decide to raise to 40, trying to steal the pot, and I get called in both spots. No surprise there. The surprise is the flop comes with ace high. Ace 10 6 rainbow. I gonna have to follow through on this one, so I bet 45. I get called in both spots. The player on my direct left is very deep stacked, has me covered. The one in the cutoff has a very short stack, has about $40 or $50 remaining. Turn card is a 7 of hearts. I decide to come to my senses and slow down. The player behind me checks, and now over to the cutoff, who bets 45 out of his 49 remaining dollars. I'm going to be calling this with the size of the pot all day long. I decide to put in the raise to isolate him, just in case the other player is drawing at something. So I make it 120. The other player quickly folds, and the cutoff puts in his remaining $4. And we go see a river. I tell him I have an ace, and he says, yeah, so do I. And he rolls over ace jack. And the river's no help, and he takes this one down, and I am still tilted.
I've stuck my nose in a lot of smelly things, but I have to say, your game stinks worse than all of them.
The player to my right, who was the recipient of my earlier punt, decided to leave, and I moved over because for some reason my seat seemed to be tilting a little bit to one side or the other, and I was hoping that a new seat would change that. I would also like to mention that if you happen to see a lot of ads, please watch them all. I calculated that in order for me to get even, I need about 278,000 views on this video.
I don't know if Dr. Squatch makes anything that can clean up this session, but if he did, I would buy it for you.
So I take my new seat down about $700 from the start of the day. The player opens for 10. The button calls for the 10, and we look at ace-king offsuit in the small blind. We make it 50. The big blind thinks for a little bit before deciding on a fold. The opener puts in the call for the 50, and when it gets back to the button, he puts in the fold. So we're going heads up to the flop with 113 in, and the flop is ace 6-4. So, oh my God, we hit a flop. First time today. We decide to lead for $40, about 1/3 pot, hoping to get some sort of action from anyone that has seen me play for the last 30 minutes. The opener puts in the call, and we get to see a turn card with 193 in the pot of a 10 of hearts. I'm most likely still way ahead. I decide to bet 2/3 pot, roughly $120, and he thinks it over for a while before finally settling on a fold. So we win a nice pot with a pair, and even a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while.
Squirrel? Did someone see a squirrel? Where's the squirrel?
There's a limp from middle position. The cutoff puts in a raise to 17. Button calls, small blind calls. I call out of the big blind with Jack 10 of hearts, and the limper also calls. So we go 5 ways to a flop with $85 in the pot, and the flop comes ace 8-9 with 2 clubs, with the 9-8 of clubs. It gets checked to the cutoff, and he puts in a bet for $20. The button puts in the call, and with my open-end straight draw, I'm going to put in the call for $20. The limper folds. So with 145 in, we see a turn card of a 5 of diamonds. No help to us. We check. Now the cutoff puts out a larger size bet, this time to 50. The button puts in the fold rather quickly, and I'm debating whether to continue or not. I haven't hit anything today besides that ace-king hand, but he's fairly deep, and I think if I hit my gin card, I can get paid off. So I put in the call to the 50, and we see the river of a 7 of clubs. I made my straight, but it puts up a possible flush. I decided to bet, and if raised, I could fold. I got the betting part done pretty good. Put in $80, and he doesn't think too long before putting in the min raise to 160. This is got to be ace of clubs with another club. I know it. I'm very, very frustrated. I'm still tilted, and I just go into the tank. And I know I'm beat, and I just could not find the fold button. I think for a while, and I'm going $80 more to win $480 pot. I got to be right, one time out of 6. And is he bluffing here one time out of 6? No, he's not. But he's a vlog watcher, and I figure if I'm going to pay off someone, I might as well pay off someone who's supporting the vlog. So after deliberating for some time, I decide to go ahead and stick it in there and make my vlog watcher a happy guy. He can tell a story about how he got some of my dough. Anyway, he turns over the nut flush, and we knew it was there even before he turned it over.
It takes a brave man to put out this video with all his mistakes. Please be kind when you think of Doug. He's only human, and humans are not that good at playing poker.
We look down at 2/10 for middle position, open to a raise to 15. I get a call from the cutoff and the big blind. So with 3 players, we go see a flop with $45 in, and the flop is ace 4-9. So we miss it again. Big blind checks. We put out a continuation bet of 15, praying that nobody would call, but we get a call to our left and then a check raise from the big blind, and we get rid of the hand. We finally look down at 2 aces from the small blind. There were 3 limps and then a raise to 6, and 2 people calling the 6. So when it gets to me, I'm going to have to put in a bet. I made it on the larger size because I didn't want to take this multi-way. So I raised to 46, and they all fold. There's a limp under the gun. It's folded around to us in the cutoff with 2 queens. We put in the raise to 15. The button calls all in for $10. The small blind calls, and the original limper calls. So we go 4 ways to a flop with 58 in, and the flop comes ace 9 6. The small blind leads out for $20. He's the type of player that would only bet with an ace or 2 pair. After the limper folds, I fold also. He does go to showdown with the all-in player, and he did have an ace. Seems like the only person putting in any action was me. The game was very slow, so I started raising with all my hands, a lot of premium hands, and getting a lot of folds. So I started widening my range a little bit more, still getting a lot of folds, until finally I raised with queen 7 of clubs in the cutoff, and I get called from the player on the big blind. Flop comes queen 9 7, so excellent flop for such a lousy hand. It's check to me. I continue for 15, and I'm quickly called. The turn card is an ace of clubs. So not the greatest card in the world, but I still got 2 pair, and now I picked up a flush draw. It's check to me. I bet 25, and I'm quickly called. The river is a 2 of hearts, a complete blank. I'd rather seeing a club on the end so I can really size up in case he's sticky with some ace. Anyway, I bet $40 trying to squeeze out a little value out of my two pair, and he calls me and shows ace 7 of diamonds. The middle position player puts in a limp. The low jack raises to 17. I'm on the button with ace 10 of hearts. I put in the call for the 17, and so does the original limper. So we go three ways to a flop with 54 in. Flop comes ace, king, 7 with 1 heart. It's checked to the low jack, who puts in a bet of $20. I put in the call and the other player folds, so we go heads up to a turn of a 9 of spades. The low jack now checks, and I just check behind for pot control. I don't really care for my hand too much. He might be trapping with a big hand, so I'm going to treat my hand like a bluff catcher. When the river card comes as a deuce of clubs, he puts out a bet of $40. And as a bluff catcher, I got a good one, so I put in the call, and he shows ace king. The game wasn't very good, and my play was worse, so I called it a day.
After watching Doug play today, I can tell he really needs a vacation. Doug and I and the rest of our pack are going to go away for the weekend. There's not going to be any internet and no phone connection either. So if you don't hear feedback from Doug, it's either because he doesn't want to hear it or he's just having fun with his pack.